Hey, welcome to Dog Talk Live. We are on Facebook and we are right now on YouTube. So, Facebook and YouTube, Dog Talk Live. They have changed how the aperture is set up on Facebook. So, please do not hold it against me if I struggle. I will do my best. As we always do in Dog Talk Live, I'm going to unplug something because the dogs keep running into it. As we always do in Dog Talk Live, we ask you to come on in and let us know where you're from and let us know what questions you have about dogs, about puppies, about training, about hunting season coming up. My name is Jeff Fuller. I have Soggy Acres Retrievers. Try to do this at least once a day for you. Probably not going to be able to pull it off every day here in the near future because we're getting pretty busy. But as we pop in, please let us know how we can help you. Comment moderation. Let's see. Follower. Slow. Restricted. Protected. Yeah, we don't have anything set up for for monitoring comments. Okay, we got people checking in. Good. It's always last time they changed something. I went on and I did a Dog Talk Live and I talked for about 10 minutes and realized absolutely no one was watching. The way they got it set up now, they've got it where usually you can see how many people are checked in, and I cannot see that right now. And they will have it set up so that you can see some other stuff. But our big thing is making sure that we are here answering questions and able to help. We got Racine, we got Wisconsin, we got Oregon, we got, I think that would be Bree, California. Let me know if that's right, Cindy. Let us know as you guys check in where you're from. Let us know what questions you have. I'm going to put my email up on Facebook, sportingdogtv@gmail.com, sportingdogtv@gmail.com, so that you have that. I've got Scarlett trying to hand me a stuffed moose, trying to distract me, and here's the moose. Everyone can see it. It is indeed a moose. And this is indeed Scarlett's toy she's playing with right now. So she is definitely being a pain in the butt for me, but that's just how Scarlett is. Again, let us know what you guys have to say. Let us know what questions you have. Got 30 watching. All right, Jeff, thank you. I'm assuming I'll probably be able to see how many people are watching at a point. It's kind of interesting. We've been doing somewhere in the neighborhood of about anywhere from 2,000 to 5,000 views on our Dog Talk Lives. I always try it a little bit different on some different things. I will try different times of the day. It seems like mornings are our lowest amounts. I wished I could announce these farther ahead for you guys. My days are always crazy. If you ever want to have a crazy job, you work with animals, because you literally set your day up for that day where you're like, all right, this is what I'm going to do. And then everything just blows up. I always tell my wife it's like someone vomited on my day schedule. You always get your work done, but it never goes in the order or in an orderly fashion the way that you were hoping for. But again, let us know what questions you have today. Love to answer some questions. We have new dogs in. So today, again, working with dogs with pinch collar, just teaching them structure, working on heel. I have all of them healing properly now. The first 2 days, my shoulder is actually quite sore. You get into being a dog trainer, I've got a sore left shoulder. Why am I using my left arm? Because I tore a tendon or ligament in my right finger, on my pointer finger. So you can see the difference in size. Let's see here. See if we can get that. There we go. You can't really see it. So it's actually starting to get better. It was during turkey season. My finger was so swollen up I couldn't bend it even to pull the trigger. But I didn't see a turkey, so that worked out fine. But again, it's tough the first few days you have these dogs in, because they all think they're huskies, sled dogs. They all want to pull, and you just got to get them so that they're under control and get them so they want to work, so they learn structure. But at the same time, it's hard on the dogs, and you've got to realize that. You've got to realize that it is so difficult for them that you need to take that into account so that they are being treated with respect and they are being treated with kindness, but yet still shown that there are rules in life. And that is, I guess, the the experience that you get from being a dog trainer is you get to work with it and understand it as you watch the dogs. You can see when the dogs are under duress. You can see when they're struggling, when they're not getting to the point. So please let us know what questions you have. These only work out as good as the questions that we do have. So far we have none, so it's just me talking, which makes it very difficult on me. I know you guys are wanting to give me a challenge today. But if you have questions about puppies, if you have questions about training, if you have questions about hunting season, which is coming up, do that. Let me know. When does your hunting season start? In Wisconsin, we start September 1st. That's when we start with our early goose as well as teal season. Teal season is, I believe it's 8 days. And it's really fun in Wisconsin, so it is cool to have and cool to get out there early. And then our big duck season starts right around the 1st of October. RJ says, hello, RJ and Gunner, Northern California, 101 degrees. Holy cow, is that hot? Yeah, you got to get your work done early. We are, for weather today, is about 90. It's very humid, so getting air conditioners installed. Tomorrow we've got a bunch of kennel projects that we are working on so that we can get stuff set up and get ourselves really honestly getting anything done I ever wanted to do to my kennels this year. So it's cool because there's so many things you look at and go, I wished I would have. And this year it is, we are getting it done. Carrie's checking in from Johnson Creek. Yeah, momentum for sure. Mark, Kentucky, how do you handle when a hunting partner is very aggressive, likes to fight? Hunting partner dog is very aggressive. Mark, that is tough because I always have people that are taking their dogs out after they're first trained. And they are going out hunting, and usually it's with their buddies that have dogs that are ill-trained would be the best thing for what would be a best description. And I always tell them that if you are going out hunting on a trip, you can always say, hey, why don't we take my dog in the afternoon, your dog in the morning, or vice versa. You can always use the excuse of, I've worked really hard on my dog with some training stuff and they don't get along. If you've got aggressive dogs and you are hunting out of blinds, you could work out of blinds, dog blinds out of separate ends. If you're hunting out of a hunting blind, you could get a blind to set up for your dog. There's blinds that have legs on them. I have a Momarsh. You could set that up on your end and have his dog on his end. From there, if multiple birds go down, you can always sit your dog or not let your dog go and take turns. There's a lot of different things you could do, or you could just tell them that your dog is a jackwagon and bites my dog and I don't want your dog along, so can we just run the dogs at opposite times and have your dog stay home some days and my dog stay home some days. RJ wants to know, how long do our training sessions go? RJ, right now, with young dogs in that are just getting worked, they're worked with, I would say, probably a total of 5 to 10 minutes twice a day. And again, I will do my heavier work with my summer dogs in the morning. Days like today, it's getting out there early, not expecting or not putting a lot of pressure on the dogs as far as giving them a lot of exercise because we're just working on obedience this week. So on a normal day, go in, I get up at 6, I go out, I let the dogs out. If it's really hot like today, I go out and I work with the dogs. I put a pinch collar on the dogs, a prong collar, take them out, work with them on heel, work with them on sit. And then for this week, what I do is I go in and actually just put them up on the force fetch table. I don't do force fetch on the dogs. I just put them up on the table because it's a foreign area and it's elevated, so the dogs kind of freak out. The other thing that I do is I end up putting the e-collar. I've got a dummy collar. Put that on the dogs and let them get used to that, so that the first time that I put it on them is not when it's being deployed or used. So that is kind of how we work things here with my training program. Once we get into next week, we're going to start working on our force fetch. But again, my kennel is air conditioned and my force fetch table is in the kennel. So I'll take the dogs out and I'll work with them for a while outside, but then I can go back in where it's 68 degrees. So it kind of helps. I know some guys will have their force fetch tables outside, and that would be really counterproductive the way I do things, because it would be tough because you wouldn't get as much time in with the dogs if it's really hot. hope that helps that, answers that. Let's see. Yes, Carrie, definitely. I drive through Johnson Creek quite often, Carrie. Let me know when all the stores are open. My wife loves going to the Coach Purse store, and it's actually on the way to our property, which is hunting property, which is up by Beaver Dam. So I get myself out of the my get out of jail free card is always stopping at the Coach Purse outlet store and telling her, honey, I love to shop, and going in there and letting her pick out a purse. We do this trip. We do the trip all the time, but we stop probably at least 3 times a year. I don't know why she needs that many purses, but she probably doesn't understand why I need 190 acres of swampland. So, with that said, fair is fair. We go there and we buy that stuff. Drop Scarlet the Moose back. He doesn't have a name. What do you guys think a good name for Mr. Moose would be? He might not be around much longer because usually they kill toys pretty fast. But what would be a good name for Mr. Moose? He is a Kong cozy toy, and he's lasted so far. Give me some names for Mr. Moose. There we go. And the dogs are gone. Again, let me know what questions you have. Let me know where you're from. Let me know what Mr. Moose should be called. Our weather all week is supposed to be pretty hot, so it's going to be kind of crazy. Again, it's just work with the dog as you can and go from there. RJ, do you hunt with one dog yourself? How long or how old is the dog that you hunt with? RJ, I have a lot of dogs, so I actually feel bad because I don't get to take them all out often. I will take out, if I go out hunting for upland, I will take 2 to 3, or I'll take 4 dogs along and run 2 at a time. For waterfowl, I only run 1 dog. If I'm with a buddy and they've got a dog, I don't care if their dog comes along. But I don't like to run 2 dogs on waterfowl just because I have enough trouble keeping them under control and not letting them get away with stuff, much less adding 2. Sorry. Been wanting to yawn here for quite a while and figured I'd just bust it out. Again, as you guys check in, let us know where you're from. If you have a name that Mr. Moose should be called, please let me know what the name would be. Scarlet is now deciding that she wants to play. She comes over and starts biting my hand. Ace is here. He's playing with the moose. Memphis, my co-host, is in season, so she is out in the kennel. So she's in jail right now, yelling Attica, Attica when we go out there. So yeah, this week, again, we're going to finish up working on our obedience and structure for the dogs, and then going to start working, really getting into it with the force fetch next week. So down to brass tacks next week. Force fetch, I usually have dogs in for, I would say, probably somewhere in the neighborhood of about, for force fetch, they work about 4 to 6 weeks. Dogs are here for a total of 3 months. If that gives you kind of an idea of how much time that takes. It is a lot of work. That is probably the most work when you're doing your force fetch, but you're also working on your e-collar conditioning, you're working on your obedience, you're working on introduction to gun, introduction to water, and all sorts of other things that are there to work on. So it definitely gets busy, but it is keeping yourself in a position where you are organized, working step-by-step process. That's why I always tell people, if you're training your own dog, that's great. Have a book or a periodical you can follow, a DVD series, something you can follow so that you can work in a step-by-step process. All dog training is about 90 to 95% the same. It's just everyone has their own twist on it. I put up videos on a few platforms here on Facebook, and people will comment, well, that's not how I've done it. And absolutely, it might not be, and it's probably not how I started doing training. Over the last, my goodness, 20 years, I've changed how I've done things. Some things it's kind of funny because I'll change, and within 5 years I'm back and I'm doing what I was 5 years ago because I've decided that was better. But I'm always trying different things and trying to do some different tactics as far as working with the dogs. I've gone from where I only did ear pinch on force fetch or trained retrieve to now I jump to the collar pretty quickly, and I find that for clients and for my own comfort is so much easier because, one, you don't have to wrestle with the dogs as much because your pressure is the push of a button. And two, it works really well for inexperienced people like your clients when they take dogs home, because that's why they have the dog with you, so that if the dog drops something, they can just say fetch and push a button. So it's something that it's interesting when you are doing stuff and you change, but it's not uncommon. I think everyone goes through that as they're in dog training. If you're not learning when you're doing your training and learning different things, I think you failed at that point. So you should always be aspiring to have something different and doing something different, like having your hand bit by a dog named Scarlet. So Dog Talk Lives, we run them usually anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes. As of right now, we're going to give everyone the last call. We're going to give last call for questions. I'm going to try. I don't think I'll be back tomorrow. I'm going to try for Friday, but hopefully I'll be back one day this week. Please save up your questions. If you have questions, you're watching this after the fact, please put the question up. I always come back and check them. You can ask people. Pretty good about it. If you don't want to ask a question, we have my email address up, sportingdogtv@gmail.com is here, so you can absolutely email me a question and we can go from there. Hope you guys have a great day. God bless. Stay safe.